Hello, today I'd like to talk about input and ways to control games. And certainly I think it's an interesting subject, and it's something a lot of people have talked about, with the removal of Kinect and sort of the future of VR. So I wanted to go through some controller ideas and talk about, what works and what doesn't, and I don't know. I really like peripherals, so maybe this is just a chance for me to show off some prized possessions. But I mean, I think, for some things there's like specific controllers that work really well. So this is the Dreamcast fishing reel, and so if you're going to play a fishing game, I think this is sort of a perfect fit. And so can you imagine a VR fishing game? I mean, to some extent, right, like it doesn't have the full range of tactile feedback. I mean, the pulling on the reel is sort of important to create. But I mean, I imagine a VR fishing game, and I think it would be very difficult to really capture the feel without something like this. And certainly I have a lot of drum controllers. These are the Tyco drum ones, and I have some even stranger ones like I gotta get these are the Paradise infrared dance sensors, where basically if you block the beam of light, it registers as like sort of a dance thing, and so you can do dances by, I guess this is the para style of dance, but I like to do it with kicking and leg flailing, and I don't know, I enjoyed that game. It didn't actually make it to the US, so all my stuff is imported. And then there's sort of the generic motion wand, this is the Move, I guess. And certainly it has some advantages. You could lightsaber fight, but there's no sort of resistance on that. And I mean, I think to some extent the idea of tactile feedback is very important, and I think something that people have to think more about if the VR stuff catches on, because I mean, like, if I'm just doing a Kinect lightsaber, I'm waving my hand, and that's cool. If I'm, holding an object and waving my hand, that's a little cooler. But, fundamentally I'm missing out on the feedback of fighting, of hitting something, and that's tough to solve. And so certainly in a lot of games you can do, the light gun sort of thing. I guess it works off infrared points, and this is the GunCon 3, which has dual analog sticks, so you could do, a lot of controller possibilities with that. I don't think it was used very much, though. There's the Move in the gun contraption here. And of course, DJ Hero turntables, sort of limited application for this. That one didn't really take off. I really like this controller, and I'm ashamed to admit that I haven't really used it, but this is a PlayStation 1 DualShock style controller, and it's for this game Power Shovel. And so the idea is that you can, I think it goes like this, you can basically control your, backhoe and dig things. And so when I was a kid, very, very young, I wanted to, operate construction machinery. I realized that's not a great job, and but I mean, that was what I was really interested in. And so, I mean, like, for me getting this controller, and it was tough to find, because again, it was Japan only, and then of course I've never actually used it, which is makes me ashamed, but getting this was tough, and it was really sort of the kid in me who wanted the experience of operating these heavy machinery. Let's see what else. This is the wireless receiver for a sword controller that was made for Omnimusha. I can't remember where I put my sword controller. It didn't work very well. Swinging the sword just mapped to, like, attack. So let's see here. I mean, I also have the Steel Battalion controller, which is, like, super fun. Unfortunately, the game is, like, way too hard for me, and I ran out of fuel and batteries, and my mech was stuck, and then I destroyed my saved game, and I got really frustrated. But, I mean, just playing with that controller is super cool. And, I mean, there's so many buttons and switches, and most of them do nothing, but I think that's sort of a really compelling experience, and you know, the physicality of it, you know, even if you wore VR goggles, you know, you'd want to feel the press of the buttons and the switches, and I think that goes a long way to creating the reality. And then, of course, there's this thing, which I haven't actually opened or used. I got it on sale when Activision was doing fire sales on all the peripherals and, like, the Guitar Hero stuff. So basically the idea is you stand on a skateboard and you can do tricks and stuff by touching the skateboard. I don't know. I played one of them at E3 and I didn't really get it, but it seemed like it might be fun to give a try at some point. I haven't actually had time to try it thus far, and it's from, I don't know, many years ago, so that's kind of embarrassing too. But anyway, I guess my point, well, maybe I secretly just wanted to show off some toys I had, but, I mean, I think my point is that, you know, with VR, I think we're going to run into some interesting problems of control, and I think, you know, even, you know, some people are like, oh, you know, motion control and Kinect and stuff, which, you know, I think motion control and Kinect presents some problems, you know, the idea of the sensation of touch and that sort of feedback, and I mean, that's a difficult problem to solve. I don't know if they can make, like, gloves that, you know, simulate, like, real resistance, like the physicality of an object, or, you know, if they have to put, like, a robot arm exoskeleton on you, and then if you try to move too far, it physically stops you or something. That sounds terrifying. I feel like it would just tear off my arms, you know, if there was a bug in the game. So, I mean, I think that it's sort of an interesting problem to solve, and it's not really one we have to solve for Neverending Nightmares, but I think, you know, it's a problem that I think people are going to sort of revisit in the future, and I think, you know, maybe customize peripherals like the skateboard and the IR sensors and the Steel Battalion and the power shovel thing. Maybe they'll make a comeback. I mean, certainly the scale and cost of them is definitely an impediment, and of course the idea of you know, getting them in stores and all that. Too bad you can't, you know, digitally distribute your peripherals to a 3D printer, maybe someday. But I think it's something to think about, you know, if you're designing a game for VR, you know, what sort of control scheme makes sense, what sort of controllers can you use to, you know, enhance the experience. And certainly I don't have any good answers, and I'm not making a game for VR, so I don't have to worry about it as much, but I think, you know, there's some valuable lessons in the past in terms of, you know, interesting peripherals, a lot of it, you know, sort of based out of the arcade, like the Sega Dreamcast Real Controller, and of course my very favorite, the Dreamcast Maracas, which I didn't get out of my closet, but those are my favorite peripheral, and the favorite game. We have the Samba de Amiga version 2000. Love it. I think my favorite games are like Panzer Dragoon Saga, Silent Hill 2, Samba de Amigo version 2000. Anyway, yeah, so I guess I'm just sort of rambling at this point, but I don't know. It's an exciting time to be a game developer, although I would say the same has always been true, just because the medium moves so fast, and it'll be interesting to see where the medium moves to. So anyway, thanks for watching.